Hari Om everyone. Shall we start?
Namo Namaha. Hari Om.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purna Shamyatam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vitvishawai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om everyone. So all excited for today's class? Shall we have a few more videos on, please? I'd like to see your expressions. Okay, so we'll start with our revision. And I will share my screen so that you can raise your hand. Can you all see my screen? Awesome. So character, that was our topic for last week. So what was our first shloka? This was our first shloka. Who wants to go for this? Hang on. So who wants to volunteer for this? Go ahead, Aditi.
Kaka Krishna Pika Krishna को भेदपितकाकयोः वसन्तकाले सम्प्राप्ते काकः काकः पिकः पिकः.
Awesome. Good job. You want to share the other one also, your favorite one?
Yes.
Go ahead.
हंसः श्वेतः बकः श्वेतः कः भेदबकः हंसयोः नीरक्षीरविवेके तु हंसः हंसो बको बकः.
Fantastic. Good job, Aditi.
Ma'am, actually my mother's name is Aditi and my name is Shriya.
Your name is what?
Shriya.
Shriya. Okay. I see the screen name, so I keep calling you Aditi. Good to know, Shriya. I'll keep that in mind. So next one. Iraji, I see your hand up. You want to try this one? Ilaji, you have to unmute yourself.
दृष्टिपूतं न्यसेत्पादं वस्त्रपूतं पिबेज्जलं शास्त्रपूतं वदेद्वाक्यं मनःपूतं समाचरेत्.
Fabulous. Very nice. Thank you, Ilaji. I like how you're all volunteering to chant now. Now you know I'm vegetarian, right? I keep joking in my class. I tell the kids, I'm vegetarian, guys, don't worry. So I won't eat you up. Right? Because initially they're all scared. They don't want to chant and they don't want to volunteer. And once they break the ice, they're okay. So I see that happening. Thank you for that. And next one. Chandru uncle.
देहे पातितिका रक्षा यशो रक्षिम पातवत् नर पातितकायोपि यशकायेन जीवति.
Awesome. Thank you, uncle.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. And next I see Megha. Go ahead.
यथा चित्तं तथा वाचः यथा वाचस्तथा क्रिया चित्ते वाचि क्रियायां च साधूनामेकरूपता.
Awesome. Thank you, Megha. And this one, Shubham. Shubhamji, you want to try this one?
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
वस्त्रेण वपुषा वाचा विद्यया विनयेन च वकारः पंचभिः नरः नायाति गौरवम्.
Fabulous. Very nice. All of you are like so comfortable now. Last one. Who wants to take this one? Krishnamurti uncle, go ahead. I see you raising hand in the window.
विदेशेषु धनं विद्या व्यसनेषु धनं मतिः परलोके धनं धर्मः शीलं सर्वत्र वै धनम्.
Perfect. Thank you, uncle. So, oh, we had one more, correct? Last one. This was the last one. Who wants to go? Rashmi ji, go ahead.
Aham
Hope you won't make me say for the name's sake. You have to unmute yourself.
Aham vadatu.
प्रियवाक्यप्रदानेन सर्वे तुष्यन्ति जन्तवः तस्मात् तदेव वक्तव्यं वचने का दरिद्रता.
Fabulous. Thank you, Rashmi ji. Okay. So today's chapter, today's topic will be desire. So let's talk a little bit. I'll stop screen share quickly for some time. So let's talk about what we are talking about in desire, right? Desire are of many levels, right? Desire can be of the level of physical needs, emotional needs, mental needs, right? And even spiritual needs also. So today we are going to talk about the different varieties of desire and the goods and bads about desire, right? So very interesting, actually. This topic gives the examples the poets that have given in different subhashitas are so interesting that it takes us some of them actually, we have to imagine this. You know, it is some abstract ones, some abstract examples they've given, abstract ones. So we'll see what all they are, right? I will share the screen back again for you all. Yeah. Okay. Ishan, can you unmute yourself? Adhana dhanamichanti.
Adhana dhanamichanti. Adhana dhanamichanti.
Vacham chaiva chatushpadaha.
Vacham chaiva chatushpadaha. Vacham chaiva chatushpadaha.
Manavasvargamichanti.
Manavasvargamichanti. Manavasvargamichanti.
Mokshamichanti dhimatha. Mokshamichanti devataha.
Mokshamichanti devataha. Mokshamichanti devataha.
I'll say the whole thing once. Repeat after me, Ishan. Adhana dhanamichanti. Vacham chaiva chatushpadaha. Manavasvargamichanti. Mokshamichanti devataha.
Adhana dhanamichanti. Vacham chaiva chatushpadaha. Manavasvargamichanti. Mokshamichanti devataha.
Thank you, Ishan. So let's see the Padavigraha. Pretty simple ones, all these, not too many word breaks here. Adhanaha dhanam icchanti. Vacham chaiva cha eva. Chaiva becomes cha eva here. Chatushpadaha. Manavaha swargam icchanti. Moksham icchanti devataha. So here they're talking about icha everywhere, right? What kind of desires? Adhanaha, those who don't have money. What will they want? Simple, right? They want money also. Very straightforward thing. Vacham cha eva chatushpadaha. Pada is leg, right? Chatushpada is four-legged. Who is four-legged? Animals. Could be any animal, right? Four-legged animals. So what do they want? They look at human beings and they say, I wish I could also speak like these people, you know. They speak so many languages, right? Man has, probably dog has its dog language, cat has cat language, right? But probably we are all guessing, obviously, we don't know that. So they probably have one language they communicate, one way of communicating, but we have varieties of languages and, varieties of things we can communicate. So they must be wishing, I wish I could talk like these people, you know. I didn't have to bark for everything. Dog may be thinking like that. I want food, I have to bark. I want to go out for a walk, I have to bark, right? It'll think, I wish I could express my words. So, chatushpadaha vacham icchanti. They want to be able to speak. But how about us? We also have a desire. Regular, normal people, not adhanaha. Adhana is one set of people, right? Who didn't have money. But here, in general, all people, what do we want? Our goal is swargam. We have to go to heaven, right? Whatever we do, it is driven by I want to go to heaven, right? Why do I do nyaya, dharma and all this? Because I'm afraid of going to hell, right? So even we have all, in general human population, all of us want to go to heaven, right? When we go to heaven, who's there in heaven? Devataha. They also have a desire. What do they want? They want moksha. Because in Swarga, they can stay there as long as their punya phalam is there. Once the punya phalam is gone, they have to come back to earth, right? So what do? They keep on praying. I wish I get moksha. I don't want to go back to human birth or any animal birth. Once my bank account of punyam is exhausted, I don't want to go back to earth again, right? So they are also having a desire. So there is nobody who is spared of desire, right? So the Bhashakara doesn't say, I mean, the Subhashitakara doesn't say it, but we have to understand, why not have a good desire? Because there is no escape from desire, right? Instead of desiring every day I want to eat pizza, right? Or instead of desiring for something that is very petty or minimal time frame that it can help us, why don't we have a higher goal? That is the import we have to get from this shloka. Everybody has a desire, might as well aim for a higher one, right? Adhanaha, the penniless desire money, the four-footed desire speech, humans desire heaven, and gods desire absolution. A small story comes to mind here for me. You know, there was this one Rakshasa, like a genie we can call, right? Like how Aladdin rubs his lamp and a genie comes up. That genie, he cannot sit quietly, okay? You have to keep giving him work. So what will he do when you give him work? He will finish it in a jiffy, like that. So this person, whoever got this genie, he had him like, you know, do so many things for him. He said, make me a gold palace. Click of a button, done, gold palace ready. Okay, next. Okay. If the genie is not given any work, he will eat up the person who is the owner of the genie. That is the trick. Okay. So this person, next question is, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? So he keeps giving, and finally, how much work can you give for this genie who finishes off in one click of a, one click of a finger, he finishes everything off. So he's constantly getting worried. Okay. So now the genie will say, if you don't give me work, I'm going to eat you up. You know what he says? Hey, genie, I'll give you the work. Okay. You know what is your job? Exactly. So Subramanian uncle is already, you know, giving the indication. He shows one long pillar. Okay. He tells the genie, go up the pillar, come down the pillar. When you're done coming down, go back up. When you're done going up, come back down. Keep doing that. Right? So the genie is now occupied, and this guy, thank God, I don't have to keep on assigning him some job again and again and again, right? So our mind is like that, right? It constantly has desire. Might as well give it a higher goal. Instead of giving a wasteful pillar kind of a goal, right? We can give it as well a higher goal, like maybe remembering the Lord, doing good deeds, being kind, being compassionate. If these are our goals, if we desire for such things, we are setting up ourselves for a higher bar. So that is the meaning of this particular shloka. Funny story, right? All right, next one. Nikita, unmute. Oh, any questions on this one so far? No? Shall we move on? Okay. Nikita, unmute yourself, please. Girirmahan girerabdhihi.
Girirmahan girerabdhihi. Girirmahan girerabdhihi.
Mahanabdhirnabho mahat.
Mahanabdhirnabho mahat. Mahanabdhirnabho mahat.
Nabhasopi mahad brahma.
Nabhasopi mahad brahma. Nabhasopi mahad brahma.
Tatopyasha gariyasi.
Tatopyasha gariyasi. Tatopyasha gariyasi.
Girirmahan girerabdhihi. Mahanabdhirnabho mahat. Nabhasopi mahad brahma. Tatopyasha gariyasi.
Girirmahan girerabdhihi. Mahanabdhirnabho mahat. Nabhasopi mahad brahma. Tatopyasha gariyasi.
Thank you, Nikita. All right. So here the words are Girihi Mahan. Girehe Abdhihi. Girer Abdhihi becomes Girehe Abdhihi. Mahan. Abdhehe Nabhaha Mahat. Nabhasopi Mahat Brahma Tataha Api Asha Gariyasi. So here Girihi Mahan. Giri means mountain. Mountain is huge. We all know that, right? That is the largest kind of land we can think about. But imagine Girehe Abdihi Mahan. Abdi is ocean. Actually, Everest is the tallest mountain on earth. The tallest mountain is hidden in the ocean, right? So the oceans are so large, they can hide multiple mountains, multiple largest mountains they can hide underwater, right? So that makes the Abdi, which is the ocean, bigger than the mountain, right? Fabulous. Is there anything bigger than that ocean also? Absolutely. Nabha. Nabha is sky. So sky is encompassing all the oceans, right? On earth, we have 7 oceans and the sky covers all the oceans. So sky is bigger than that. So Nabhasaha api Mahat Brahma. Than that huge sky also, what is bigger? The Brahman who created that, right? He's bigger than the sky also. But guess what? Hey, big deal Brahma, we have something bigger than you also. Asha Gariyasi. Tataha api, our Asha, the desire is bigger than that Brahma also. How much, because we keep on desiring, no end to it whatsoever, right? So the Subhashitakara is saying, this Asha, the desire, is bigger than anything you can imagine. Anything you can imagine. That's the trouble with desire. The intensity of it, the vastness of it, all encompassing of it. A mountain is huge. An ocean is larger than the mountain. The sky is larger than the ocean. Brahma is larger than the sky. And desire is even bigger than him, the Brahman. Sad situation sometimes, right? Yeah. Kuvalayananda, this is a shloka from Kuvalayananda. Subramanian, uncle, you have to unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think had you worded it Brahman, that would have been better, no, Rashmiji? Brahma again gets confused as the creator of the Trinity.
Yeah, that is the Chaturmukha Brahma. Yeah. No, but here actually they are talking about Chaturmukha Brahma only, creator only. Not the Parabrahma. Because there is nothing bigger than Parabrahma, right? Then we'll be conflicting with our spiritual text itself, what we are saying. So here they are talking about the Chaturmukha Brahma who created the Nabaha, Abdihi, Girihi, everything. Right? Yeah. Even for him, there is desire, right? Even the Chaturmukha Brahma, the creator, he also has desire.
Yeah.
So this desire is bigger than him also.
Even that's a position. He has to make it. He might be permanently there.
Yes, that is this is not referring to our Parabrahma.
Yeah, the Brahman. Yeah, I got it.
It's not the Parabrahman, no. Yeah, so better nothing be bigger than him, no?
Yes. Very true.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? I like it. Thank you, uncle. Thanks for sharing. So any other thoughts? No questions? Okay, let's move on. Ishan, can you unmute yourself? Kaschidam ravanam chitva.
Kaschidam ravanam chitva. Kaschidam ravanam chitva.
Palashamscha nishinchati.
Palashamscha nishinchati. Palashamscha nishinchati.
Pushpam drishtva phale gridnuhu.
Pushpam drishtva phale gridnuhu. Pushpam drishtva phale gridnuhu.
Sashochati phalagame.
Sashochati phalagame. Sashochati phalagame.
Kaschidam ravanam chitva. Palashamscha nishinchati. Pushpam drishtva phale gridnuhu. Sashochati phalagame.
Kaschidam ravanam chitva. Palashamscha nishinchati. Pushpam drishtva phale gridnuhu. Sashochati phalagame.
Thank you, Ishan. So this is a shloka from Ramayana, Ayodhya Kandam. And this one, again, simple one, not too many Shapada Vigrahas. Kaschit amravanam chitva palashamscha nishinchati Pushpam drishtva phale gridnuhu sa shochati phala agame. So the story here is somebody has a land, okay? And this land already had palasha trees. Palasha is called flame of forest, right? It has huge, large red flowers, right? He just got an inheritance or he just bought it. Either which way, he got a piece of land which was full of these palasha trees, right? Sorry, he got a forest full of amra trees, the mango trees, right? And then when it is time for flowers to come, how about mango flowers? Mango tree flowers are really, really tiny, like, they're almost like a little larger than my bindi probably, right? They're very tiny. And if there is huge wind or rain, all the flowers fall off also, right? And his neighbor next door, the farm next door, it is full of these palasha leaves, palasha trees. And those trees are full of this large red flame of the forest flowers, which are bigger than my hand. He sees the flowers and he says, what a lame decision I made. Look at these puny tiny flowers. They're no good whatsoever. I should have bought that piece of land instead, So what does he do? He will bulldoze the whole plantation, whatever he has, all the mangoes, and he buys all the palasha trees and plants in his land. But then the other neighbor who had mango trees, he left it be. He left what is there in his plantation, he let it be. Then comes the time for, harvest time. What happens? Mango trees gave mangoes. What do palasha trees give? Nothing. Too bad. Right? So he got greedy looking at these big red flowers. These flowers don't even have fragrance. Right? So they are useful in different ways. We're not going to talk about that. Their leaves are used and all that, but he wanted fruit. He wanted to enjoy sweet fruit. So he thought big flowers will give me big, nice, juicy fruit. So he bulldozed all his mango trees, right? But now the neighbor, the other side, who had mango trees, he's having nice, ripe, juicy mangoes. And this person is left with neither this nor that, right? So this shloka is saying, we have to be very judicious about what we are. Oh, okay. Hang on. The CIF is saying the meeting might get disconnected. So we will all have to log back in if that happens. Otherwise, we'll continue as far as it does. But if it does, please connect back again. Thank you for letting us know. I think Sanju, or I don't know who is taking care today. Yeah. All right. So until then, we'll continue. So what the shloka is trying to tell us is that don't get greedy based off of momentary goals. Think long term, plan long term, get your details, get the facts straight. Figure out what does a mango tree do, what does the palasha tree do, what kind of flowers and fruit each of these give. Do the research ahead of time so that you won't be like rigging your fingers at the end of it by making wrong decisions, right? So that's what is really important for us to always keep in mind. Have proper planning. Otherwise, we will be in soup like this person. So greedy of fruit on seeing the flower, tearing down a forest with mango trees, he tends the palasha, the flame of forest trees, he bewails at the time of harvest. Alas, alas, right? So be very careful is the story here. Okay, questions, comments? Desire is like fire. It grows more with trying to satisfy. Yes, who's saying this? Murali Narayananji, absolutely right. Absolutely right. We are actually going to come to that. You're right on the target. And Geeta ji is saying, Shine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti. Correct, Geeta ji. I think he's talking about the first one, and where we talked about the Devatas going to Swargaloka, and then they also are going to come back to earth. That is the sentence she's saying there. Okay, next one. Nikita, can you unmute yourself, please? Oh, sorry, I see a couple hands raised. Chandru uncle, go ahead. You have a question?
There are two words which I need meanings for. Nishinchati and Grignuru.
Okay. Okay, I will have to share my screen again, I believe. Okay, I need to get host rights. 1 minute. Right. Can you all see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. Chandru uncle, go ahead. You were asking a question.
Yeah, I was asking about these two words, nishinchati and gruhnu.
Nishinchati is to tend. Shinchati is to sprinkle. Nishinchati is basically he watered and tended to. And gridnuhu is greedy. One who usurps everything, a greedy person. Uncle, you're muted.
Yeah, that is right. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Virajji, I see your hand raised.
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt. What is the meaning of word chitwa?
Chitwa is chopping, cutting down.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Megha?
Ma'am, can you please explain the context of this in Ramayana?
No, I will not take to that. It will take a long story, and then many times what happens, right? More than the context, what is happening is we are taking the import of this Subhashita itself, right?
Okay.
That is where we do not want to digress.
Okay.
Ishan, I see your hand raised. Ishan Mishra. Go ahead, Ishanji.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of Palasa?
Palasha is a flame of forest. It's the name of a tree which gives large leaves and large red flowers. So we have another Ishan. How old are you, Ishan? Ishan Mishra. Okay, he's not. Okay. Mohanji, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I just want to clarify this pushpam drishtva phale grudnuhu. Can it also be understood that looking at the flower first of the flame of the forest and seeing it to be large and greedy for a large fruit, he then changes his forest. Would that be one construction, one interpretation?
That is the interpretation we spoke about.
Achha,
so he
so
sees.
first he looks at the
I
flower.
gave this, I gave the situation of a neighbor and everything so that it is easier to comprehend the idea. So he saw the Palasha flower and he thought he's going to get bigger fruit.
Fruit, okay. Got it.
Bigger flower means bigger fruit is his understanding.
Yeah, that is the understanding.
Yeah. And then he ends up, having none.
Thank you.
Okay. All done? Shall we move on then? All right. Nikita, unmute yourself, please. Valibhirmukhamakrantam.
Valibhirmukhamakrantam. Valibhirmukhamakrantam.
Palitairankitam shiraha.
Palitairankitam shiraha. Palitairankitam shiraha.
Gatrani shithilayante.
Gatrani shithilayante. Gatrani shithilayante.
Trishnaika tarunayate.
Trishnaika tarunayate. Trishnaika tarunayate.
Valibhirmukhamakrantam. Palitairankitam shiraha. Gatrani shithilayante. Trishnaika tarunayate.
Valibhirmukhamakrantam. Palitairankitam shiraha. Gatrani shithilayante. Trishnaika tarunayate.
Thank you, Nikita. This is a Vairagya Shataka shloka. Valibhihi mukham akrantam. Palitaihi ankitam shiraha. Gatrani shithilayante. Trishna eka tarunayate. So how do we grow up? First we are born babies. We become teenagers. We become youth, young adults. Then we become middle-aged. Then we become old-aged, right? So he's talking about that. Valibhihi mukham akrantaha. Valibhihi is wrinkles. The face is encroached. Akrantaha is encroached with wrinkles, right? Palitaihi, with gray hair. Shiraha ankitam. There is a stamping. Ankita is, it is like a stamping, a mark, a trademark kind. So ankitam shiraha. Head has all gray hair, right? Gatrani shithilayante. All my organs are dilapidating. Okay, I need glasses, I need hearing aid, right? I need walking stick, all these things. These are very natural progression for us, right? Any of us, we have seen, like, that is the concept of growing we have. Growing up we have, right? That is all for body. But guess what? There is something that will be born, will grow a little bit, will become teenager, will become youth maybe, taruna, and that it stops. It stops at that point where it becomes young. What is that? Trishna eka. There is only one thing that can stop its growth at youth itself, which will never grow old, which will never get dilapidated. Okay? Youth is given as the example here because it's vibrant, right? When we are in our youth, we are very vibrant. We have all energy. We can move mountains, we feel. We can eat anything and we can digest. We can run miles together. So youth, we are very vibrant. So why is he talking about this one thing that will not get dilapidated at all? What is this one thing? Trishna, which means thirst, the unquenchable thirst, the desire, eka, that's one thing. That desire is one thing which will never grow old. No matter how old I get, my desires are evergreen. Whatever I wanted 100 years ago, I will want 100 years afterwards also. I will just get stuck instead of maturing, right? So the marks of our body are the signs of growing, signs of growth, maturity, ripening. But what doesn't ripen? I'll give you another example to make this a little more clear. When I was a baby, I liked the rattle probably, right? I would play with the rattle. When I grew up a little more, I liked a bicycle. But do I hang on to the rattle when I go to the bicycle? I drop the rattle, right? I go to the bicycle. When I grow older, maybe I want a nice car, right? But I don't drop the car. I keep driving the car, right? Until my license get taken away. Even that has got an end. But my desire, it's like literally hanging on to that rattle or a pram that I grew up in. I'm not going to grow out of it at all. Being stuck in that stage, that is the condition of this Trishna. The poet is saying, why are we so hung up on that desires and that entraps us in that particular spot itself without letting us ripen and grow out of it? Just like we grew out of a rattle, grew out of a pram or a bicycle or a stroller, why don't we grow out of these desires? Why do we get stuck on them? That's what is his question. He's actually laughing at us, saying, face encroached by wrinkles, head marked by grace. Limbs are frail and feeble, appetence alone is young. It never grows old. It never gets tired. It keeps on growing. And, if you satiate one, I think somebody earlier before we got logged off said it's like ghee. You give in to one desire, it will flame up even more. Every time you yield to that desire, it will flame it further and further and further, right? So that ghee is what is desire, which keeps the flames alive. We need to nip it in the bud. That's the only way. So Aditi, I see your hand up. Shri, I don't know.
Ma'am, there is a shloka from Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shatakam, which has similar kind of meaning. That is Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam Dashanam Hinam Jatam Tundam Ruddho Yati Ruhetva Dandam Tadapina Munjat Tyasha Pindam.
Very nice, but that's from Bhaja Govindam, not Nirvana Shatakam. That's Bhaja Govindam, correct. Perfect shloka for this. Yes, that even then, after being in that stage also, our Asha Pindam doesn't drop. Perfect correlation. Thank you, Aditi. Mohanji, did you raise your hand now? It's probably from the previous one. Yeah. Okay. I see Sunilji. You have a question, comment?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I didn't understand the last part, which is translated in English. Appearance alone is young. What do
No,
they mean?
appetence. Appetence. Appetence is thirst.
Thirst.
Thirst. Yeah, appetence means thirst, which like the wants, the desires and wants, that
Okay.
alone is young.
Okay. Desire always remains active. That is
Yes.
what this.
Yes, yes. Appetence
Thank-
means desire or thirst, actually. Appetence is the wanting, the unquenchless thirst.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Shall we move on? Okay. Ishan, can you unmute yourself? I see a couple comments. Hang on. We can grow in our bodies, but we are also expected to grow in our intellect, discrimination, and grow mature. Become adults in the real sense. Does this happen? Very good point, Murali Narayanan, uncle. Yes, that's true. The problem is we don't, right? We get stuck on that. Okay. Ishan? Anumatram manastavat manastasmat.
Anumatram manastasmat. Anumatram manastasmat.
Asha namalatodgata.
Asha namalatodgata. Asha namalatodgata.
Tasya nalamupaghnaya.
Tasya nalamupaghnaya. Tasya nalamupaghnaya.
Bhuvanani chaturdasha.
Bhuvanani chaturdasha. Bhuvanani chaturdasha.
Anumatram manastasmat. Asha namalatodgata. Tasya nalamupaghnaya. Bhuvanani chaturdasha.
Anumatram manastasmat. Asha namalatodgata. Tasya nalamupaghnaya. Bhavanani chaturdasha.
Thank you, Ishan. This is from Ashcharya Chudamani Vyakhya, and the author to this is unknown. Anumatram manaha tasmat. Asha nama lata udgata. Lata udgata. Tasyaha nalam upagnaya. Bhuvanani chaturdasha. So manaha, where does desire rise? Manaha, right? They're talking about manaha here. Before we get there, one question. If I have a cup and I measure liquid or solid, whatever, how much can I get out of a cup? If I am measuring out of a cup, I'll get 1 cup of that liquid or solid or whatever I'm trying to measure. Suppose I have a bucket and I'm measuring something or I'm filling it up with something, I get a bucket full of that, rice or water or whatever. Or if I'm taking a mug and filling that up with something, I'll get a mug full of that, right? But here, the poet is saying, Anumatram manaha. Even according to Shastras, our manaha is said to be the size of an atom, right? Our, angushtam, they say the Atma is supposed to be size of angushtam. And in that, mana is just the size of an atom. How big is an atom, right? We can't even see it. But how much can it hold? Unlike a cup or a bucket or a mug, what we spoke about, it can hold whatever the size of it is. The container size, the content will be of the same size, right? But this manaha, that is the size of a minuscule atom. In that grows Asha Nama Lata Udgata. In that comes out a creeper. Lata is creeper. Udgata is arises. Which the name of that creeper is Asha. Name of that creeper is desire. What does it do? And creepers, if you have seen, they give out some kind of little spring-like things to catch on to whatever it can take ashrayam from, right? That the spindles out of which arise, the spirals that come out of that is the nalam, right? To cut that. If you don't cut that, the creeper keeps growing, right? If it grows over a small plant, it will become that size. It will take the shape and size of that. If you let it grow next to a sequoia tree, which is the tallest of all the trees, it will grow to that size, right? That is not enough. So this Asha Nama Lata, so we have to really imagine this, okay? We are having an atom-sized manaha. In that, a seed was sprouted. That sprouted seed, the creeper is called Asha, right? And for the spirals of that to hang on to, Bhuvanani Chaturdasha, to quench the desire of that, 14 lokas. Bhuvana is lokas. 14, which means 7 above, 7 below. Heaven and hell, both together, and earth included, right? So these 14 worlds fall short. Because the desire is such a creeper, it keeps growing and growing and growing and clinging on more and more and more. Even earlier we said, right, in the previous shloka, where we said even gods, they have a desire. They are already in another loka, right? They are above in another Svarga loka. They have a desire. I want to go beyond that 14 lokas. I want to go beyond that and get moksha, right? And suppose we do all papams, we obviously are, aiming at going to hell only. So 7 above, 7 below, it's not enough to satisfy our quench for things that we want. This constant desire that we want, just imagine this little atom-sized manaha gives up a creeper that is so large that these 14 worlds fall short in quenching its thirst. That's what this shloka is saying. The mind is merely the size of an atom, and in it, a creeper named desire sprouts. For its windings to spread, the 14 worlds fall short. That winding is that the spiral thingies that come out in a creeper. To get some support, it will send out those spiral windings. It will hang on. It will grow wherever it gets. It keeps growing to that height. By itself, it can't stand, right? So that is the attitude about this mind and desire. And Leelaji is saying consequences according to Gita also known here. Kamat sanjayate krodha. Correct. This is the ladder of fall we talk about. When we teach, the Gita to high school students, we call it as the ladder of fall. Starting with kama, with desire. And even Buddha says, right? He says in one sentence in Kannada, it is said as asaye dukkha ke karana, which is the desire is the root cause of all sorrows, right? So we have to be very, very mindful about this one kama, desire, which can bring us down from wherever we are. No matter what position or place we are in, it will just draw us down. That's the meaning of this particular shloka. Questions, comments? Desire is the cause for suffering. Absolutely. Questions, comments? None? Okay, Mohanji, go ahead. You're muted, Mohanji.
Does this upagna means to spread? Or, what is the literal meaning?
Upagna is to vanquish. Vanquish.
To conquer.
So to vanquish its desire to grow. So the 14 worlds are not enough to vanquish its desire to keep growing. It will keep wanting more and more and more.
Thank you.
Shall we move on? Nikita, can you unmute yourself? Asha nama manushyanam.
Asha nama manushyanam. Asha nama manushyanam.
Kachidashcharya shrinkhala.
Kachidashcharya shrinkhala. Kachidashcharya shrinkhala.
Yaya baddhah pradhavanti.
Yaya baddhah pradhavanti. Yaya baddhah pradhavanti.
Muktas tishthanti panguvat.
Muktas tishthanti panguvat. Muktas tishthanti panguvat.
Asha nama manushyanam. Kachidashcharya shrinkhala. Yaya baddhah pradhavanti. Muktas tishthanti panguvat.
Asha nama manushyanam. Kachidashcharya shrinkhala. Yaya baddhah pradhavanti. Muktas tishthanti panguvat.
Thank you, Nikita. So again, not many words to split. Ascharya Shrinkhala is the only Padavibhaga here. Asha Nama Manushyanam Kachit Ascharya Shrinkhala. So I give an example here. So a baby elephant, right? How strong is it? too strong, little strong. It is very strong, pretty strong, right? But it is tied by a small chain to one small peg. This elephant is capable of moving huge logs from place to place. How difficult is it for this elephant to just break off from that chain and the pillar, right? But what does it do? When it is a baby, it gets tied, and it, at that time it is not able to cut a big rope, right? And then it keeps continuing in its head to just be there. Oh, I can't break away loose. So it just stays there, even if it is stronger than that, right? So basically, when somebody is tied down to somewhere, initially they will try a little bit to run away from there or whatever. But afterwards, can they really go beyond that radius of that particular chain they are tied to? Whatever the rope they are tied, if I want to run away, suppose I am tied to this pillar to a 10-meter rope, I can run in that 10-meter radius alone, right? I cannot go beyond. So what do? I get tired and I sit down in a place. But here, they are saying the exact opposite happens, right? Asha nama manushyanam. This shrinkhala, Ashcharya shrinkhala, it is called as bedi, what we call, right? The shackles, how they shackle up a prisoner, that kind of a shackle. This shackle, when you are tied up like this, what should you be doing? Logically speaking, we are supposed to just sit quiet and not do much, right? On the contrary, in the second sentence, he's saying, Yaya Baddhaha. By whom, if somebody is tied, this Asha Nama Shrinkhala, if they are shackled with that particular tie, Pradhavanti, they keep running. What did we see in the previous example? We saw if you are tied, you sit in a place, right? No, if you are tied with the shackles of Asha, you keep running. On the contrary, Muktaha, those that are devoid of the shackles, Panguvata Tishtanti, as if they are limp, their legs are broken, right? So, Panguvata Muktaha Tishtanti, those who are free actually sit as if limp. They should be the ones running away, right? Because they were not put in the shackles, they should be the ones running away. On the contrary, those that are tied keep running and running and running, whereas those that are devoid of the shackles, they will sit happily in one place. What does he really mean here? The one who is running, because he is tied to the desire, to achieve that desire, obviously he has to be running, right? Suppose I want a bigger car, a bigger bungalow, more jewelry, or I want bigger status or a better job. No matter what be my desire, I have to keep running after that to achieve that, right? But I don't have any desire. What do? Right? So there is no that kartrutva bhava. We can go, this one can be exceptional, we can extrapolate it to all kinds of spiritual levels where we can say, there is no kartrutva bhavam, there is no bhoktrutva bhavam and all that. But at a regular vyavaharika level, we can think about it as, I don't have any unwanted goals to achieve. So I will sit happily without being bothered. I won't be worried about somebody's status. And if somebody went to vacation, I will also not say, I did not go to this vacation. I have to earn more money to make this vacation. See how busy my mind and my, and my life will get. So I can sit happily and relaxedly if I am not bound by the shackles of my desires, is the meaning of the shloka. Desire is the name of a strange binding for man. He's calling it strange because if you're bound, you're running, right? Those tied keep running, but those free, muktaha, sit as if limp. As if they have nothing to do, they sit limp. Interesting shloka here. Any questions, comments? I see somebody writing here. Desire is the name of a river. Wishes are the water in it. Greed are waves created in the river. That's correct, uncle. Crocodile, and we are delusional, right? We think of that crocodile as a log. This is from Viveka Chudamani too. He uses that analogy there where the desire is, the crocodile, which we think is a log, and we try to cross the river. We can get eaten up by that crocodile any moment. Okay, Sunilji, is the hand raised for this question?
Yeah,
this shloka?
I wanted to know the exact translation of Panguvat. Does it mean handicapped or?
Pangu is limp, one who cannot walk. Have you heard this word anywhere else? Think about it.
Yeah, I heard this somewhere.
In Bhagavad Gita.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Want to say the shloka, uncle?
I don't remember actually.
Mukam karoti
Yeah,
vachalam.
mukam karoti vachalam. Pangulangayate girim.
Girim. Yatkripa tamaham mande.
Paramananda
Ananda Madhavam.
Awesome. I like teamwork. Yes. So, Pangum Langhayate Girim. There he's saying one who is limp, who doesn't even have legs. Because of knowing Bhagavad Gita, he can jump a mountain also. So, Pangu basically means one who is limp, who cannot walk. All right. Next one. So, let's see. A chain is a chain, whether iron or golden. Yes, correct, Murali Narayanan uncle. He's saying a chain is a chain, whether golden or iron, right? Actually, it reminds me of somebody told one nice proverb actually. Just because it is a needle of gold, will I poke my eye? Hey, it's gold, no? It's not iron or, it's not a cheap material. It's very nice gold. Am I going to poke my eye? So no matter what, it has to be treated as a needle only. So desire is also like that. Whether it is iron, gold, doesn't matter. A shackle is a shackle. So we have to be very, very cautious about what we yield to. That's a very important concept to remember when we run after our desires and whims and fancies actually. All right, next one. Ishan, can you unmute yourself? Lobhamulani papani.
Lobhamulani papani. Lobhamulani papani.
Rasamulascha vyadhayaha.
Rasamulascha vyadhayaha. Rasamulascha vyadhayaha.
Ishtamulani shokani.
Ishtamulani shokani. Ishtamulani shokani.
Trini tyaktva sukhi bhava.
Trini tyaktva sukhi bhava. Trini tyaktva sukhi bhava.
Lobhamulani papani. Rasamulascha vyadhayaha. Ishtamulani shokani. Trini tyaktva sukhi bhava.
Lobhamulani papani. Rasamulascha vyadhayaha. Ishtamulani shokani. Trini tyaktva sukhi bhava.
Thank you, Ishan. All right. So, Lobha Mulani. So, right, we kept on speaking about, desire, desire, desire. In this one, they're saying where the desire is arising from and what the desire gives rise to, basically. We talked about desire, but we don't know the repercussion, right? So, Lobha Mulani Papani. Mula is the root, right? So, Lobha, greed, Gridnuhu, what we saw in the other shloka. So, Lobhi is a Gridnu. So, Lobha Mulani Papani. So, what does it do? It gives rise to Papa. Why? Because when I am greedy, I do not see Dharma or Adharma. If I want, I want. That's it. Right? So, I will not bother about Dharma or Adharma. I will resort to whatever I want to achieve what I want. Right? So, that is the root cause for all Papas. Who wants to do Papa, right? We all want to go to heaven only, doing Punya, right? So nobody wants Papa. So we have to be very careful about this, getting to this Lobha level. We should not become Lobhis, right? Otherwise, it will lead us to doing Papa. Rasamulashta vyadhayaha. I got diabetes. I got whatever else. And I still want to eat what I'm not supposed to eat. Or I have nut allergies. I want to eat peanuts or cashew nuts or whatever. What will happen? I will fall sick, right? Okay. I think we are having an issue and we may get logged off again. I'm not sure. Okay, let's try and finish it quickly if we are having issues again today. So, Rasamulashcha Vyadhayaha. All illnesses, the origin of that is the desire of the taste. We want, without thinking about the repercussion it will lead us to and our health impact it will have. So that is the Vyadhi's root cause. The root cause for illnesses is my palate, which doesn't have any stoppage. Ishtamulani shokani. Shoka means sorrow. Where does sorrow come from? Because of my desires. Desires means which cause from expectations, right? If I don't get what I expected, I'm going to be sad. Root cause of that, my expectation, my desire alone, right? So, shoka mulani, the root cause for all my sorrow is my desire, my quenchless thirst, my wants, my desires. So, trini tyaktva sukhi bhava. Drop all these three things. Which three things now? Lobha, rasasvada, ishta. If you drop these three, there is nothing to be sorrowful, right? I'm not doing papa, I'm not having diseases, and I don't have sorrow. Won't I be the happiest being on earth? So if you want to be happiest being on earth without papa, without diseases, without any suffering, what should I do? Drop lobha, rasa, asvada, the desire for, rasa asvada not just for palate, okay? It could be for the eyes too. It could be any of the 5 sense organs. If I want to keep on watching movies after movies because my eyes feel happy, right? I will have some other problem. That is a disease also, a mental disease also. So vyadi is not just physical disease, right? So we shouldn't really translate this rasa as the taste alone. It's any of the 5 sense organs. It will lead to one kind or the other kind of disease alone. Any kind of addiction alone it will lead to. So drop all kinds of asvadam, rasasvadam. Ishta mulani, so shokani, so drop that ishta also. Trini tyaktva sukhi bhava. Greed emanates sense, gratification of the palate. This palate is not just the tongue palate. Is the root for diseases, and desire is the source for grievances. Abandon these three and attain happiness. Absolute bliss, happiness. All right, any questions? Comments? So we talked so much about desire today, right? Next week the topic is going to be company. Okay. Janana karanam karma, gnana karanam vidya. Correct. Correct, Krishnamurti uncle. Runimoha karanam. See, all these desires at any level, right? They keep us entrapped. They keep us with, body, mind, intellect identification, right? If we are talking at a spiritual level, we want to break loose from all these identifications and raga dvesha, basically. No matter how much we have spoken about desire, right? So it is a joint thing, okay? Raga and dvesha. Suppose I desire rasmalai. I always want rasmalai or sweets for that matter. That means I hate something that is not this. So they are a joint hand in hand. So when we are saying drop the desire, it is automatically implying drop the dislike also, likes and dislikes. Desire is not just the likes we are talking about. Dropping also should mean drop the dislike also. When I have like, automatically I have dislike, right? When I want to be tall, I don't want to be short. If I like to be, having long hair, that means I don't like to have short hair. Right? So it is always the opposite, is a conjoining effect that goes along with it. So we have to understand this as not just what I want, what I don't want is also because of what I want, right? So the mula is always that want again. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's a very precarious thing. The dislikes we will not account for, as my like. Oh, that is a dislike. No, you have the dislike because of the like alone. Something to keep in mind always, right? So that's about likes and dislikes today. So any questions and comments? Animals have predominant desires, humans have 5 indriyas. As many varieties, correct. Yeah. We are the ones, we can complicate the smallest thing into the biggest way. You can't, that's why they said, no, even Brahma pi naram na ranjeti, in another shloka we saw, right? Brahma pi antanna gacchati. He will not know where this desire is leading to. This person can imagine whatever he wants, and even Brahma won't be able to satiate the amount of thirst this person has, right? One sentence I want to finish up with saying, there is enough for everybody's need on earth, but not enough for one man's greed, right? This desire and greed are very dangerous things which you have to be very careful about. All right. Shall we finish up? ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. We'll see you next